God so loved the world that he gave his son, that whoever believes in him will live forever.
Jesus went to Calvary to save a wretch like you and me. That's love. That's love.
Come on now, everybody sing down.
Jesus went
To Calvary
Calvary
to save a wretch.
save a wretch
Thank you,
like
Jesus.
you and me. That's love. That's
Here's what they did to him. They hung him high,
hung him high,
stretched him wide,
stretched him wide,
hung his head.
hung his head. For me he died. That's love.
You ought to know it.
That's love.
You ought to show it. They hung him high,
Hung him high,
stretched him wide, hung his head.
hung his head.
Well, greetings. This is Pastor Ren, and I'm honored to be able to come into your homes wherever you may be on this Valentine's Day. This is the day of love. And so we decided to do something just a little bit different here at Kingdom Builders. And I'm grateful that we have a few key people that decided to help us bring this panel together. We did a Kingdom Nugget just a few moments ago on love, and we'll come back at the end, but we just wanted to come together just to kind of give you our thoughts, our take on that four-letter word, love, and then Valentine's Day. This day is really significant because as a church family, we've been fasting too. And so we officially came off of our fast 6 p.m. last night. And it is my prayer for those that are going out, those that are ordering in, or that you don't overdo it. But during this season, more so than any, a lot of people deal with that one word, loneliness, as well as being alone. And there are a lot of different myths and misnomers as it relates to love, what it is not. And we just wanted to come together from different perspectives just to kind of share with you our view on that one word, love. Do me a favor, text somebody, tag somebody, and tell them to tune in now. It's going to be our chat and chew. We're just going to converse about Valentine's Day, give you some of our ideas and our thoughts on it. And I'm honored. We have our Chief Ministry Officer, Minister Jimmy Wells Jr. He's with us on today. He is the only one other than me right now that's married on the panel. He's married, has a beautiful wife, Sister Tiffany Wells. They have about 8 kids. I'm sorry, five. Listen, anytime you get more than 4.
Don't do that, man.
I'm sorry. I said I'm sorry. He has 5. They got 5 kids. And, so you can tell he's enjoying love. They enjoy marriage. We have Sister Matthews. Listen, she's one of our all-around person. You do a little bit of it all with our kids ministry, media, and just so many other things. She has one daughter, Mickey McKayla, who's a teenager. Then Sister Javonda, super excited. She has a baby girl, just had a birthday a couple of weeks ago. Javea, at homeowner, both of them. And then, listen, Sister Shaquita Thomas and her little baby, our princess. I am honored. I'm grateful to God. You're going to get a chance to hear from each one of them, even on today, Mackenzie's mom. And so we're grateful. I'm honored to be able to do this. And we're just going to come together. We're going to jump right into it. And we're not going to waste time. We're going to jump right into it. So I had a couple of questions that we wanted to talk about. And then we're going to do some things that's going to be kind of impromptu. That's right, impromptu. So you get to hear the authentic response. You get to see us in our element. And so we're grateful to God. So I want to start with Minister Jimmy. I start with Minister Jimmy because he's married. And you said earlier that your wife just stopped receiving. She just stopped receiving Valentine's gifts from her father. Now, first of all, if you don't mind me asking, how old is your wife? Or either how long have y'all been married? Let's just start there. How long have y'all been married? It's on you, Minister. It's on you. He is never at a loss for words, so this is shocking to all of us. But it's on you. How long have y'all been married?
Me and my wife, we've been married 14 years.
14 years.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's 14, right, man? 15. Oh, my bad. 15 years. 15 years, y'all. I was just, 12 months off. That's all. Just 12 months off.
right. We were gonna cut this part. We decided it was so authentic that we're gonna leave it. But y'all pray for the Wells family because he's off 12 months, so we don't know how this is going to end. 15 years.
15 years.
15 years. Wow.
15
wow.
years.
Wow. Wow. Well, let me ask you this. You said that your father-in-law just stopped giving your wife Valentine's Day gift.
Criminal gift a couple of years ago.
A couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Wow. Why do you think that is?
She's spoiled.
She's born. Okay.
And not only that, she's his only child. And on top of that, of course, that's his daughter.
That's his daughter.
So you know when you got them girls, some of them girls,
Okay. Let me ask you this: as a man, as her husband, how did that make you feel?
Didn't bother me one bit.
That's good. That was the right answer. That was the right answer. That was the right answer. Now, how did it make you feel?
It didn't bother me one bit.
Okay, well he kept with it. He stuck with it. He stuck with it. That's good. That's good.
Never get between a father and their daughter relationship. Never get between that.
That's good. That's good. That's just good. Listen, Sister Matthews, you're the only one up here outside of Minister Jimmy that has a teenage daughter. So let me ask you this: how are you handling this time of year, Valentine's Day, with your teenage daughter? I don't even know if she has a friend. My mom used to call him a friend boy or a friend girl. She never called him girlfriend, girl, or boyfriend. But so I'm not sure where she is in that social, as it relates to her socially. But how are you handling this time of year, Valentine's Day, with a teenage daughter?
For us, it's no different than when she was younger.
Okay.
I guess that will change. That may change soon. I don't know. My grandma was pretty strict on me when it came to boys, and I'm trying to navigate and see how I want to attack that situation and that issue when it comes. Right now, she's saying that she does not have an interest in any particular boy. She probably wouldn't tell me right now.
Okay.
But we talk, but for me, I think it's going to be a challenge when it does happen.
Wow.
But, I get her a gift for Valentine's every year.
Okay.
Maybe some balloons in a room when she gets home, but that's about it.
Okay. Now, let me just stay there for a second, because you said it's going to be a challenge, probably. Why do you think it's going to be a challenge?
Just for me as a mom, letting go and letting her grow up. And, with her being my first child, I don't know how I'm going to feel when that comes about. I hope I handle it very well. Y'all pray for me.
Okay.
Minister Jimmy and others will joke about me being very, what's the word? Is it strict or overbearing? Maybe.
All of the above.
So just pray for me. My grandma did me that way, but I don't want to hold on too tight, but I don't want to let her go completely either. So
that's good. So finding that balance.
Correct.
Balance.
That's one of my favorite words. So yes, the balance.
Balance. Okay. Good. All right, Sister Javonda. Now you have years to go before you get there. But let me ask you this: what does it mean to you pre-motherhood and then now?
Well, before my daughter was a thought,
Okay.
I would pretty much, because me myself, I'm the kind of person that I'm not easily to jump into relationships. I'm not easily for anyone to come and say, anything to me. As far as feeling like, hey, we're boyfriend and girlfriend, because as Sister Misha has stated, my mom, she was more so the strict one in the family. she was the one that really did not like to let go, because her thing, she wanted boys. So when she got girls, it was kind of like a whole culture shock for her.
Okay.
So, for me, it was just mostly hanging out with friends. We would exchange gifts, go out, in my time to the club or something like that or whatever. But after having my daughter, it really kind of opened my eyes to kind of see where my mom was coming from as far as the reason why she was so overprotective, because every time that I look at her, it's just like, oh my God, she's gonna be interested in a boy one day. I'm gonna have to sit down and talk to her about this, and I would even tell her, okay, now listen, you can't date till you're 30, because I don't know this new generation, and I'm just gonna be honest and transparent. I'm not trying to go to jail, even though I would look great in an orange jumpsuit. I'm not trying to go to jail behind nobody else's child. So, you know what I'm saying? We're just gonna wait till you're 30 to have that. But I do the same thing that Sister Misha does. I get her, she loves stuffed animals, and right now she's into unicorns. So I make sure that I make her a basket every year, because I want her to feel that same love and support as if it was a young man. I want her to understand that, hey, you can't come with me with anything, because my mom made sure I was well loved and protected.
Okay, that's good. That's good. That is really, really good. I'm looking forward to this. Sister Shaquita, the mother of our Princess Mackenzie, come on, give us some insight on it. How are you handling it? What are your thoughts on Valentine's Day pre-Mackenzie? And now that Mackenzie's here, and I know she puts in space in a lot of different extracurricular activities, but what are your thoughts about Valentine's Day now?
Can we skip that question?
They want to know. They want to know. They want to know. We're just trying to figure out. What are your thoughts from your perspective?
Well, since I have a daughter, Valentine's Day is actually more exciting to me, because I get to, she's spoiled anyway, but I get to let her go into stores and show me what she likes, and like, she's different, I can say, so to speak, because she'll go pick up something for her, and when school was in, she wants to get something for the whole class, and then her teachers, because she had 2 the previous year.
Okay.
So it's actually exciting now, but before I had a daughter, just like Mr. Jimmy's wife, my mom always made me and my brother gifts or baskets or did something every year. So I've always, like, I guess to say, had love for Valentine's Day, so I didn't need to seek it in a boy, because I got it from my mom. So
that's good. That is good. And that's very interesting. Let me ask this. We're gonna kind of jump off on the deep end. If you have questions, you have thoughts or comments, just put them there. We want to try to answer them for you if we can. If you can, just kind of communicate. We got somebody standing by. Sister Mary is there, and we want to just try to communicate with you. So if you got some questions, some thoughts, go ahead and put them there, and we're going to try to deal with it. I know Minister Jimmy is trying to figure out, Pastor, how are we going to do that? But technology is something.
Oh, yeah,
it is something. But here's a question for you. I want to jump right off into the deep end of the pool. When you hear the word love, anybody can jump in first. What are your thoughts, or what comes to mind when you hear the word love? What comes to mind?
What love got to do? Got to do with it.
That's good. That's good. Now elaborate on it. Elaborate on it. What comes to mind when you hear the word love?
I just thought about the song. That's all.
No,
That's it.
My grandma, that was one of her favorite sayings. When you talked about a boy, she would say, "What love got to do with it?"
Yep, that's true.
What do you think she meant by that? Or what did she mean by that? What do you think?
My grandma, she meant, there were other things to look for in a relationship other than love. I think stability, looking for someone who was godly. So her thing was, what's love got to do with it? Because you can, say you love anybody that comes along, or you can have affection for any boy that comes along. So make sure that everything else is in place. Don't just go off of your feelings.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
good.
That's good. We're going to come back to that, but that's a real good point, because I used to hear the statement, I don't know if you've heard it before, that love is blind. But I heard a preacher say years ago, if you get married, it'll open both of your eyes to the good, the bad, and the ugly. But that is so true, because nowadays so many people jump head over heels off of feelings. And that's one thing about feelings, they vacillate, they go up and down. You feel good, you know, that's a saying, I think it's a commercial that says sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Sometimes you don't.
Miss Joy got nuts.
You heard that, come on. But bounds don't.
Come on, yeah. I heard that one, pal.
So we don't want to go by feelings, but that is so true. That is so critical now, that we make sure we look for other things as opposed to just relying on that word love. We're going to deal with that too, but that's a good point. Anybody else? What comes to mind when you hear the word love?
Well, for me, what comes to mind is that I use love. To me is kind of an acronym. I don't only just see it as feelings. I see it as commitment. I see it as building trust. I see it as two people who are willing to accept good with the bad. So I see it as different genres of things. When I hear someone that says love, are you willing, you know what I'm saying, to commit yourself to a person, you know what I'm saying, long term, to tell someone that I love you. You know, also we know love for what it is, that it's equal and equate to God.
Okay.
But some people kind of take it and they feel like, okay, if I tell you that I love you, then I can get something and gain something from you. But for me, you know, I look at it as all around the board, because I know for a fact that if I love you, I'm willing to commit myself to you. I'm willing to give that trust as well as receive that trust, you know, and that's basically what love is for me.
That's good. That's good. That's good. Anybody else? Okay, go ahead.
When I hear love, I think of giving and sacrificing. I think, you know, a lot of people say you can't love without giving, and that's what I believe. Yeah, you have to give. So.
Okay, that's a good point. That's one of my favorite sayings too. You can give without loving. I believe that, but you cannot love without giving. They work hand in hand. Minister Jimmy, from a married person's perspective, what comes to mind when you hear the word love in your context?
From a marriage perspective, love can be sacrificial.
Okay.
And especially in a marriage, and it's kind of crazy. Sometimes you might not get it right off.
Now, Paul, when you say get it right off, help our audience know what the it is. Because you said it so quick.
Right.
I don't want them to, you know, because we're talking about love, and I don't want their minds to run to something else. And they, you know, listen, for those, his wife is close by. That's why he keep looking at his wife.
I'm looking at you,
That's what I want to make sure. That you said that so quick, somebody missed and say, get it. Rewind that back. No, explain what you mean when you say get it.
When I mean get it, I mean you may not understand the sacrifice.
Okay.
That you have that you get. Being married is definitely a sacrifice, because it's selflessness.
Okay.
And sometimes, most of the time, a lot of times, you might do things that you might not feel like doing. Sometimes you might have to, which I'm still learning, because sometimes my wife will ask me, baby, you go pick me a cup of water. I'm like, I don't feel like giving a fish no water. But, you know,
that feelings go.
That's right. But sometimes if you love somebody, you know, you have to do things that sometimes you just don't feel like doing.
Okay.
But I think the longer we're married, I'm learning more now. Because we got married at a very young age. I mean, I think I was 20 when I got married. And we've been married for a long time. Let me say that. And we've been through a lot of stuff.
All right.
And I believe, and I know, if love wasn't there, we would have been saying our goodbyes.
That's a good way to put it. You know, that's a nugget for anybody that forgets how long you've been married. Just say a long time. Listen, that keeps you covered. That keeps you covered. Now listen, I heard a sigh of something when he said something about when you're married and you know doing something, you know. Now help me understand where that's coming from. Sister Jaquita, where is that coming from? Because I heard a long sigh, like we hit a nerve or something when he said something about when you're married, you do things you don't want to do sometimes. What did that do? What did that do? Explain that to us.
I mean, it's just what he said. In a marriage, there's gonna be things that you don't want to do, but it's not a relationship, so it's not like you be like, I ain't doing it, or I'm not supporting it, or I'm not going here, I'm not going there. But if it's your husband or your wife or your partner, then of course you're gonna want to be there to give that support, because that's a part of, you know, that's a part of love. Like, I do love him enough to support his dreams or his ideas, no matter if it haven't worked, but it's not for me to be like, oh no, I'm not gonna do that. Just like if he say, hey, can you make sure you cook this particular dinner at this particular time? And if I don't feel like doing it, I will do it.
Well,
Like in my marriage, my husband really had no complaints because I didn't have to pay bills or anything like that. I was a full-time student. So I made sure breakfast was done. I made sure he had lunch. I made sure he had a different dinner.
Oh, wow.
If there was anything that, you know, if there was any type of activity or something that they were having, like a potluck, they call it now, then he'd be like, hey, I gotta bring something. Then I'm not gonna be like, okay, well, you need to order something. If I didn't feel like cooking, you know, I wasn't gonna tell him that, because that's a part of teamwork as well, because I feel like that's, you know, what love is as well. So some things you just don't wanna do, but you do it out of the fact that that is your husband or that is your wife, and you just do it out of the fact that, you know, I do love him, so let me do it.
Wow, wow, that's big. That's big. Now, I know somebody, even single fellas, brothers that's listening. Man, she likes to cook breakfast, lunch, dinner, but don't get too excited.
Is she single, Pastor?
Yes, she's single, but don't get too excited because you got to talk to Pastor too now. Release it.
Disclaimer, I'm not looking.
There you see that? There you go. Single and satisfied, not looking. Now wait a minute. Now you said something about the cooking breakfast, the lunch, the dinner, and you made another statement, and I heard something over here.
Yeah.
And Sister Matthews, that was Sister Matthews, and so we want to see what did that. I mean, like it struck another nerve, and we some of these statements striking nerves, but it's hitting something deep down.
Okay.
What was going on?
This is a good topic here.
It is.
What was that about, Sister Matthews? Help us.
I don't think you guys heard a sound. You may
Okay.
say.
Okay.
No, I believe what she said is for her and, you know, her marriage and her relationship.
Come on, somebody.
All right.
It don't work for everybody.
No, I don't disagree with you on sacrificing and doing some things. You know, I think I would be willing to cook. I've never been married, so, you know, if anybody's looking for advice, don't take it from me. And my relationships don't last long either. So this is to the ones that's been married. But
I'm done.
We keep it real up here, y'all.
okay. Yeah, I believe, you know, you should sacrifice. I believe, you know, when I get married, I'll probably cook when I don't feel like it. I do it for a child now sometimes. But I just feel like each relationship is different, and a man who wants to be with me, you may have to talk about that beforehand. I don't think I'll be cooking breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day, and all the potlucks. That's all.
All right, fellas, you putting it out there up front. You can't help but to respect that. You have to respect
Don't be
it.
silly email talking about who that is. Y'all getting it wrong right now.
Love it. Listen, let me ask you this. Let me turn the corner. Because everybody has daughters. What do you think? Well, let me ask you this way. What's the one principle, nugget, message you want your daughter to embrace at an early age? What's the one thing you would like to leave with them, that you would like for them as they grow up, they decide to allow somebody into their life eventually? What's the one principle, nugget, whatever you want to call it, you want to instill into them that you would hope they would take with them through the relationships as they get older? What's one of, I know it's simple, but what's one of the main things you would want them to keep? Let's go, anybody can jump in.
Well, as for me, I've always had like my doors open, and I do my daughter that way. And like anytime we get in a car or whatever, I'd be like, Kenzie, don't touch that door. Like, you know, I open it for you, because when you get older and you have a boyfriend and you get your husband, then he should cater to you just like I'm doing you. And I just pretty much show her what self-love is. And like, even if we're going into a store, I do the same thing. I open doors, and now my daughter does it. Like, if she get out the car, she'll try to get out before me anyway to open my door. And if we're going in the store, she'll open the door and then she'll hold it for everybody that's coming through. So I'm just teaching her how to love herself and respect herself, and then have that same generosity like going forward, but to also accept it.
Wow, that's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. Anybody else? Come on.
For me, it will be valuing herself, not allowing anyone to say anything to take her off track, to feel like, you know, because he said these things, that means I have to give myself to him, or I have to feel completed by him. I always try to talk to her, even now when she doesn't understand a lot of stuff. Some things that she do understand as far as love, I let her know that you are valuable in every way. Don't ever let anyone devalue you. You know your worth. And you know what I'm saying, know that you are appreciated, and you don't have to allow the words that anyone say to you, especially a young man, to make you feel like, okay, I'm completed. You're already completed because God completed you. So I always encourage that value in her, to let her know that she is very valuable.
That's good. That's good. That's good. We'll just go on around since we're going.
If I had to choose only one, I probably can't choose one thing.
Okay.
Maybe a couple, and then probably kind of the same, and that would be okay with being alone. I think a lot of women, men too, but a lot of women, it's hard for them to be alone, so they jump from relationship to relationship. So I want her to be okay with that, and to love herself as well as being independent. Not in a, you know, these days, if you say independent, men automatically think you like, oh, I don't need a man. Right. But not in that way, more so, you know, focus on yourself, get yourself together, so when you get with someone else, you're not depending on them to make you happy.
That's good. That's good. That's good. All right, Minister Jim, what are your thoughts on that?
I treat my daughter, I'm your boyfriend.
Okay.
Yes,
message.
Now, how old is your oldest daughter?
She's 13, 12.
Okay, 12, okay.
So,
all right.
I'm sorry, she 11, she finna turn 12.
All right. It's the numbers. Yeah, it's the numbers. It's
Yeah, but she's 12, she'll be 12 here shortly. So
but check this out. He's watching his wife. She's giving her all the numbers.
The wife is better at numbers.
That's right. That's right.
Now that's true. I can't take that from her now. I can't take that from her. But yeah, you know, for me, and right now she's 11, 12.
11 or 12.
She's past.
Hold on a second, y'all. She's 11 or 12. We get that.
She's 12. She's 12. I was gonna say 12. And for me, I'm at the point now where I'm seeing her getting older. You know, we decided to get her a cell phone, and I hear them, you know, sometimes she got other brothers and sisters, and I hear them talking about in the background, talking about boys and this, that, and the third. And for me, I have to teach my daughter to not be so caught up with boys. You have plenty of time for that. And either as she get older, my goal is to, like Sister Matthew was saying, my goal is to teach her to don't ever depend on a man. Ever depend on a man. And so that's one of the biggest things that I want to try to teach her. Now it's okay to, you know, you want to later on and get married and stuff, you man, you know, you want to take care of the bills and do that's fine. But I don't want her to be so dependent on a man. And that's my biggest goal, is to let her know, listen, it's good to have that companion. That's good, that's great, but don't settle, you know, and make sure that you do what you have to do now while you're young. You get your education, do things so if anything happen, you can sustain yourself and don't have to depend on a man to take care of you.
That's good. That's good. That's good. I really love that. I want to ask this because this that season, and a lot of people get loneliness or being lonely confused with being alone. A lot of people. It's interesting in Genesis where God says it is not good for man to be alone. It's not good for Adam to be alone. And what's interesting is he really wasn't alone because God was there. So, you know, I mean, I'm like, how can you be alone if God is there? But when we keep reading, we understand that there was nobody suitable for Adam. There was nobody just like him, because contrary to popular belief, there are some things that God won't be to us.
Okay.
You know, and I understand it from the perspective, and I've heard it before in churches where mostly single people, men and women, have made statements that, you know, God will hold you in the middle of the night, and you know, and all of that, and that's good. I understand it. I do. I understand what they mean. And if you're talking about He'll be there and sustain me, He'll keep me, I get that. But God ain't getting into bed rubbing nobody. Hello, that's just not happening. You know, so there's some things He will not be.
Right.
But at the same time, I learned from that you can be in a crowd of people and be lonely.
Okay.
Think about it. You could be around a lot of people and be lonely, but you can't be alone because there are other people around. So there's a difference. And I think nowadays, sometimes people get the two confused, alone, being lonely. And I think Sister Matthews made mention of that too, that being confident in yourself and being okay being alone. Here's why I say that, because God says, let us make a helper, somebody suitable for Adam. The reason being, he needed somebody that could complement him in the earth, because there's some things God will not be to us. And I think sometimes it's okay when singles, men and women, understand it's okay to be alone, because maybe I'm alone right now because there's nobody suitable for me. And I say that even particularly now in this season, because with it being Valentines, you know, sometimes people are so hard up watching Instagram, Facebook, and you know, you're seeing somebody at Papados, at Grill 29. It's like, man, I need somebody so I can go hang out. I can do this, I can do that. But sometimes being alone is an opportunity for us to love ourselves, work on those characteristics, and then also looking at it from a different perspective. Being alone can also mean there's nobody suitable for me. God is saving His best for me, and when they find me, when I find them, we'll know it. So I guess what I want to ask here is, and I want to lead to this, is as we're matriculating through this season, what advice would you give a young lady or a young man that is feeling the pressure of getting into a relationship for the sake of not being alone? I just want somebody. I need somebody. I see everybody booed up and made up on Instagram. And it's really not Instagram, it's really Insta Lives. Because everything you see, trust me, we take pictures till we get the right angle, the right pose before we post it. So you don't see everything. So what advice would you give someone, a young lady, young man, that's at the point of, listen, I just gotta have somebody. I need somebody. You know, I need me a box of chocolates. I want some Stella Rosa tonight. Whatever the case is, I need something. You know, Stella Rosa. I want a flower rose. You know, something. So, what advice would you give them during this season as it relates to jumping into something so quickly or waiting? How would you deal with it? What would you say?
I would pretty much say the very thing that you rush into is the same thing that you're going to rush out of. Anything that you rush into and you think it's going to work, it can sometimes fall and it can crumble fast. So if you rush into something, you take that risk of being rushed right out. Because just as they did that to you, 9 times out of 10, not saying that's for everybody, I'm pretty sure that they rushed into it with someone else. You know?
That's good. Wow. Take your time. That's good. Anybody else? What would you tell them? What would you tell them? From a male
I was
perspective.
just about to say,
Yeah,
from
from
a
a
marriage
male
male
perspective.
perspective.
Yes.
I
What
would
would
like
you
to
say,
hear
Minister Jenny? What would you tell him?
what-
He's got a lot on the inside. He's working. What would you tell him?
Oh man. Well, I mean, make sure that it's somebody who you can deal with. You know, and I know it's a lot of, you know, one night stands going on and stuff like that. You have to be careful with that because you don't want to get yourself caught up in something that you might not be able to get out of. And that's just real. So somebody, you know, male or female, especially men out here, you know, good guy like me, like good men like myself, who's just looking for, well, I'm sorry, I'm already married, but a good man like me,
Okay,
who want to
this
be
one.
married and find a good woman like I already have, make sure it's somebody that you can trust. I told my wife, if anything, I pray God will be together till we die, but if anything ever happen, I never ever trust a woman like I trust them, ever.
All right.
Wow.
So it's good to have somebody who's gonna support you, looking for those qualities that you can trust, that you can build together. And so even while you're dating, make sure that it's somebody who has the qualities that you want. And if you see something going left, no point in continuing it if it's not the quality that you see in a wife.
Wow, that's good. That is good. That's good. Now that's a powerful statement you made. Never, ever, ever would you trust anybody else like you trust her. And what was her response to that?
Who?
Your wife, when you made that statement to her.
Well, that's personal.
That's personal. Okay, that's personal. I won't get into that. Anybody else?
Well, I think when people do rush into something, they don't know their worth, whether it's a male or female. A lot of people do try to have like one night stands or sleep around just so they can have somebody.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, like you said, don't know the difference between being alone and lonely because they feel like, oh, I'm lonely, and like you said, I see this and I see that on social media, and I want that comfort, but they get it, but it's not the comfort that they're actually having. So I would just say, you know, just wait, take your time. Don't think that you need to rush into anything because it's not, if you rush into it, it's not gonna be genuine. And you're gonna think that, oh, these feelings are there, or these feelings are real, or, oh, I fell in love with her, or I fell in love with him so quickly. But if you don't take your time, then how can you say that this is actual love? Because if you're rushing into anything, that means that you don't have self-love, because if you actually love yourself, you'll know what love to yourself.
That's good. That's good. That's good. Man, I'm learning a lot. I hope y'all are getting this. I hope you're getting this.
I would say for anybody that's rushing into a relationship to first sit back and think about what you're running from and what fear you have. Because a lot of times when you're rushing into something, it's because of a fear. So if your fear is being alone, then you know, tackle that. If your fear is I guess, I don't know, kids, I know for women, you know, we have a window. So tackle that and think about what you're running from. Because like they said, when you're rushing into something, it's probably not gonna work out. It can work out, but take my advice. It probably won't.
Oh, you can give advice now. You can give advice.
Oh yeah, I can give advice on this one. I can give advice on marriage, but I can tell you about some bad relationships.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Listen, I pray you've gotten something. We got one more thing, and we're getting ready to get out of it. But I pray you've gotten something. Let me say this, and we'll jump into this as we leave. I'll get them to say something about this word as we prepare to leave. But there are different types of love. Never get them confused. The Greeks, whenever they talked about love, they wanted to be precise in the meaning of it, because so we have the agape love. We know the agape love, that God kind of love, unconditional, being able to love somebody until they're able to love you back, till they can that love can be reciprocated. That's deep, because oftentimes we only love people that can love us back. But real love is, can you love somebody that don't love you back and they have the capabilities of doing so? I challenge everybody, check Hosea out. Read Hosea. When you're talking about love, that book on love is, and long suffering. Oh my God, that's one for the ages. Check it out when you get a chance. But that's the agape love. We're familiar with that unconditional love. But here's what we found out. I don't love my wife like I love my sons.
Right.
That's different.
Right.
And so what the Greek said was, you can't use the same word love. So that's where you got that eros or erotic love. You know, love for somebody, a companion, your boo, your bae, that erotic love. And then there's that Philadelphia or phileo love. That's that brotherly love, where you can just see somebody for the first time and say it and mean it genuinely. I love you. You know, you got that brotherly love. So that many more different types of love, but making sure we have self-love. And I think every love that there is should be based, or the foundation should be off of that agape love. If we have that agape love as the foundation, we can build on everything else. So I want to say something. Give me some closing remarks as we prepare to transition. Those that are watching, this is early in the morning. I'm sure it's a few minutes after 9, close to 10 now. So those that'll be getting ready to get out and get brunch, or if you call and get in, or whatever the case is, as we move forward with this Valentines, love, all of these other different things, how would you sum it up? What would be your advice at this point, based off of your personal experiences? I think that maybe if it's the Lord telling you're not ready yet, you're not ready yet, you're not ready. Tell him you're not ready. You're not ready.
Okay.
But what would be your advice right now? What would you be saying right now to somebody as it relates to love? Now, here's what I want to jump into. You're talking to them, because there's somebody watching now that's trying to say, that's probably saying, listen, but you don't understand what I've gone through. You don't understand some of my experiences. And some people are afraid to lose who they have. So they will dumb it down who they are, their expectations, just to suit who they have. Because the fear, one of the fears is, I don't know what I'll get. I know what I have. I know who I have. And they will allow themselves to constantly be in a position or place of being not physically abused, but verbally, mentally, not being loved the right way. And somebody may be watching that we can probably help. What would you say to that person that knows that God has something better for them? They're not married, so there's really no obligation there. There's no commitment other than, I'm afraid to lose what I have. What would you say to them, even at this particular juncture, that can kind of encourage them where they are?
Wait.
Okay?
Wait on God.
Wait. Okay, good.
Wait. Wait and trust God.
Okay.
Because I believe that we can sometimes jump into something because we move off our flesh. And this flesh sometimes, it'll trick you a little bit. But we have to seek God and wait and see. And when it's for you, I promise you, it's gonna be smooth. It's gonna be what you've been praying for. You're gonna know it's it. You ain't gonna question it. You're gonna know. You know what, God? I know this is it. But we have to wait and make sure we are not moving prematurely.
Good. That's good. That's good. Anybody else?
Well, something that I've learned from everybody on this panel, and taking for myself to be able to give the advice, is pretty much love is not defined by one day. It's every day. So to learn to love yourself every day and stay in communication, as Minister Jimmy says, with God, and know that whatever you see, and I've had to learn it for myself, whatever you see on social media it's made for you to feel as if you're worthless. You know, it's made for you to feel like you need someone in your life, and if you need someone, that someone is you. You know, as they stated, you know what I'm saying, learn to love yourself. And don't just love yourself because you feel like you have to receive something on that one day, which is Valentine's Day. Love is an everyday thing. It just does not be defined by one day. So I'm with everybody up here. Self-love, wait on God, converse with God, and take yourself out on a date. Go to that good brunch.
That's good.
That's
That's
good. That's good.
My wife doesn't take herself, but that's good.
That's good. Come on, somebody else.
The advice that I can give is just think about how you give love and ask yourself, has this person done it for me?
Oh,
Has
that's
this
good.
person
Oh, that's good.
shown
That's
me?
good.
And it's not just even love, it's with friendship or with your family. If I have to tell myself this all the time, and I recently stopped doing it because I'm so quick to, oh, I know this person needs this or this person needs that, and I'm like, okay, let me help. But then now I sit back because you can hurt yourself more by trying to do for others. And like you said in the message before, you know, you can't help everybody, because if everybody keeps depending on you, if they couldn't depend on you, then what would they do? So it's the same thing with love. If I'm giving you my all, I'm gonna ask myself, will this man do this for me? Or better question, has this man ever done this for me? Or has this man ever shown me? So that teaches me a lot, like with even now with people that may ask for my number, and I'm like, with me, if you can't call me in the daytime, you definitely can't reach me at night.
Okay.
Wow.
I don't accept no messages, no phone calls when the sun go down, because that's my time for me. That's my time for my child.
Okay.
And especially if we're not on a level and it's nothing like serious that if we're not even dating, but yet you have the audacity to call at an incorrect time, then that's a sign also for a male and a female. If they can only contact you when it's beneficial for them, then that's a sign that that's not who God is having for you. So just make sure it's reciprocated. If it's not reciprocated, then that's your answer as to if it's really genuine, if that's something that God wants you to do.
Okay. That's good. Said a lot.
A couple things. First, I'll say, with me being a mom, a lot of things, my view a lot of times is, if I wouldn't let someone treat my daughter that way, you can't treat me that way.
Right.
You know, I would never let anybody put their hands on my daughter, talk down to my daughter, you know, make her feel bad. And I put her up on the pedestal, so I feel like I should be treated well. That's one thing. I forgot my other point.
Okay, come back. Because look, I want to throw this out, because that's a good point, and we get ready to go. But I want to throw this out because Sister Shaquita struck a nerve when she said this. What's a deal breaker then? Tell them what is a deal breaker? Come on, help me. What's a deal? This is authentic.
It's good.
Now you see how Mr. Jimmy just jumped in on this. What's a deal breaker with you from somebody wanting to talk to you? Let me ask you this: what's a deal breaker in the approach?
Okay.
And what's a deal breaker after you all have already exchanged numbers or you've already talked 2 or 3 times? What's a deal breaker? What's a deal
You
breaker?
have guys that'll be Casanova, you know, they're gonna sweet talk you, they're gonna charm you, they're gonna give you, oh, you're pretty, you're beautiful. They're gonna be real polite.
Okay.
So, of course, you know, they're showing good intentions,
Okay.
and that's what everybody's gonna do if they're trying to pursue something.
Okay.
So, once you get past that level and you guys start communicating, you will see the signs there. Because they're gonna always be themselves one, because they feel like, oh, well, I done got her past that part and got her number, so let me just go ahead and show who I am. And that person can be genuine or he could be a slime, but he's gonna show you, and you're gonna always see it. We may overlook it because we're humans, and that goes back to the fact that if I overlook something that I know is not good for me, that's because my flesh is telling me, oh, I just want somebody there. So that's when I overlook it. But when you're at a point in your life and you know what you want, then you're gonna oversee all of it.
Okay.
So, for instance, like, the guy gave me his number, whatever, and asked for mine. And we exchanged numbers, and I was like, oh, do you flirt with all the little pretty girls? And he was like, no, just you. So I'm like, whatever. I have a dad, I have brothers. I learned a lot of game from my husband, so I know game when I see it.
Oh, wow.
So,
Wow.
we
Good
still
answer, good
communicated.
answer, good answer.
We still communicated, but then day 2 is when he showed me who he was. And
Day
Waste
2?
no time. He ain't
Day
waste no
2.
time.
Not 22.
Cause like I said, they're gonna show you who they, but they're gonna charm you
Waste
to
no
get your
time.
number.
No, that's
Yeah, they're
ain't
gonna
got
charm
time
you
to
to
wait.
get your number.
Okay.
And then after that, they're gonna show you who they are. And like I said, they could be genuine or they could be not genuine. So for this particular guy, like I said, it was the second day we were just texting, and we text like, you know, when the sun was out, and I cut it short. Like I said, I don't talk to anybody when the sun go down. When I pick up my daughter, it's all about her.
Okay.
So, and you know, it gets dark early now, so I pretty much don't talk to a lot of people. But anyway, then I had asked him again. I said, so do you flirt with all the pretty ladies? And he was like, you know, some of them. I said, so start calling them. And I ended it like that. So like I said, when they get,
Oh, he bold.
but some people are like
You
that.
wouldn't- you
I
wouldn't
prefer
believe
you
it.
to be
Yeah,
honest
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
I prefer you to be honest like that than for you to act like a certain person, and then I start dating you and the feelings get involved, and then I see your true colors. So
Right.
I prefer to see that side of you up front
Okay.
than on the back end.
Wow.
Yeah, he won't live for nothing serious.
Wow.
Okay.
So let me ask you this, what's a deal breaker to you? What's a deal breaker in the initial stages?
It's really not, because like I
Okay.
said, I know what I want.
Okay.
So at first I was hesitant with doing the dating, or I'm not gonna even say dating, I'm just say communicating, because this is COVID season, so it ain't no dating.
Okay.
So like I've tried to limit, like, okay, if I want to date or if I want to try to see who God has for me, then I have to open up.
Yeah.
But I'm real protective of myself. So like I said, I know what I want. I know the type of person that I want. I know what I want out of my next marriage. I know what I want out of my relationship. So it's like, I'm not just gonna accept anything.
Okay.
And I just pick up off vibes and actions in our conversations.
Okay. That's good. That's good. Right.
Okay.
What's a deal breaker in the initial,
So already in the relationship
prior to?
prior to, okay, so is this coming from a single mom's perspective or a single woman period?
Your perspective.
Coming from my perspective.
Your perspective.
Okay, so the single mom me
Okay.
or the single me?
Yeah, it's you.
If I didn't have a daughter, that's what I'm saying.
You right now.
Okay, me right
You
now.
right
Okay,
now,
okay,
okay.
so the single mom me. Okay, cool. So the I just had to get clarification, and you know what I'm saying when I'm giving this advice, who I'm speaking to. So the single you too.
Okay, okay.
But the deal breaker for me, because I do let people know, well not people, but I do let, you know, whomever tries to approach me know
Okay.
that I am not single. I come with a package.
Uh,
I am a package deal. So I make it known that I do have a daughter. So anyone that feels like, oh, okay, if you're rushing me to try to meet my child, because I feel like I'm not gonna have no man just continuously until, as Sister Shaquita said, I am being in a committed stage with you. No one is going to meet my daughter. No one's going to meet my child. So if you're gonna rush that for me, when it's not on your time, but it's on my time, that's a deal breaker for me. Also another deal breaker is that if the communication for me, if it's not on a level to where it's motivating, to where it's stimulating my mind, and all you can think about is sexual type things, I'm already out of that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I see where your mind is. I see where you're going with this. I'm on a whole different level,
Yeah.
sir. You know what I'm saying?
Sir.
Sir. I'm very respectful too. You know what I'm saying?
I like
I'm letting you
that.
know I'm very respectful.
Yeah.
So you might want to find someone else that's like-minded like you,
Yeah.
because I'm not on that same mindset. You know, I'm actually looking to teach my daughter, as Sister Misha said, that if I instill it to my daughter, I want the same thing for me. You know, if I respect my daughter, I want someone to respect me. So whatever examples I'm setting before her, I have to make sure that I'm setting those examples. So if you can't come correct, if you can't be patient and waiting, and you can't give me good conversation, that we could talk about something else, then we.
If it's a bell, she ain't gonna play it anyway.
Yeah, she gonna shut that down. She gonna shut that down. She gonna shut that down. She like, sir, we don't know you. Move along.
That's good. These are some good answers, good perspective. I hope you're soaking it all in. Sister Matthews, come on. What's a deal breaker initially, and then once you get involved?
Initially, upon approach,
All right.
you need to be a man. Anything less than that,
Oh, that's good.
How,
put it out there.
You
Just
know
put it
how,
out there.
you know how boys are.
Can't be real over here.
When
Put it
somebody
out there.
step to you and it's boyish, I don't like that. Like, you
Yeah.
need to come to me
Right,
like a grown man,
Yeah.
with confidence.
Right.
So
Yes.
that's what it takes.
Yes.
Anything
Right.
less than
That's
that is a
good.
deal breaker.
Mhm.
After that, for me, it's about actions.
Okay.
And like, I don't like a liar, so if you tell me something, I'm looking
Come
for
on,
you to do it.
consistency.
And your actions, like, I
Mhm.
need to know that you want me.
Okay.
So anything less
Oh,
than
that's
that
good.
is a deal
That's
breaker.
good.
Yes.
That's good. That's good.
Yes.
So many different perspectives, but I think all of us are saying the same thing in a nutshell. Man, some good nuggets. Good nuggets. We're done. We are actually done. As we leave, I want to ask y'all this as we leave. At what age? You may have to give a gap there. This is. I see you, Sister Tiffany. At what age? At what age should a person date for purpose and not for pleasure? Let me ask it this way. Here's what I
That's a
mean.
good question.
That's deep.
At what
That's deep,
age
now.
or what season, you may have to put it together, should a person that's watching date for purpose? Meaning, and I heard something you said, Sister Shaquita, I'm dating looking for the next level, marriage. I'm not just dating just to have somebody, just so we can go out, have a few, no, I'm dating for marriage. At what age, season, and you may have to give a window there, do you think a person should date for purpose? Meaning, I'm dating with marriage in mind,
Right.
as opposed to just
That's
for
why the
pleasure.
audience want to say something.
Okay, all right, we got somebody. Okay, all right, come on. You want to come and say something? Okay, she just looked. Okay.
Okay.
All right. She's chiming in. So come on. What age or what stage or season, if you need to put it there, should a person date for purpose and not just for pleasure?
That's deep.
I would say, and my opinion can be changed. So this
Okay.
is my raw opinion.
Wait. It's flexible.
It's flexible. Because
Okay.
I'm gonna say, and then maybe somebody else will say something to make me think.
Okay. I thought maybe you said yours could change. We ask you tomorrow to be something different.
No.
Okay.
I mean, kind of, sort of. We'll get there. What I'm saying is.
We need to deal with this right now.
No.
We need to deal with
This
this
is
right
what
now.
I'm
We gotta figure this out.
How just when you ask the question, the first thing that comes to mind is you shouldn't date without a purpose, even from the beginning.
Amen.
Wow.
And
Yes.
even
wow.
as a teenager,
Oh,
if
wow.
my daughter came to me and told me, "Mom, I want to date this guy," like, if you don't have a purpose for dating, then he can just be another friend. Why
Oh, that's
date
deep.
if there is no purpose? So
Okay.
I think, I do believe,
That's
in
good.
immaturity
Okay.
is going to play a part in it. So they may not be mature enough to understand everything that comes with marriage. But I don't understand why you would date without thinking about love and marriage and forever. It's puppy love, but at least they're looking for it. Because I don't want my daughter to go up talking about she's dating a guy just to be dating. So,
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. So you want the first one she dates to be the one that she marries?
no, it can be practice, and you know what I mean.
Practice?
No, this is what I'm
I don't
saying.
want my son getting
No,
their feelings hurt.
no.
Because practice.
Right.
But they need to. I
It
feel
made
like,
perfect.
I feel like they need to get
I'm
that.
just teasing.
But no, what I'm saying is, in her mind,
Yeah,
I want her to
I
think,
understand.
I can marry him, possibly,
Gotcha.
or don't
Right.
date at all.
Right.
But me being a mom, I know, that's puppy love. Probably it's not gonna last.
Okay.
So, that's my perspective and how I feel right now. Maybe
Right.
somebody can change my mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
I don't know how I'm gonna change her mind, because I'm in the same career.
Okay.
But I agree, and that's what I was going to say. I feel like to me, it's no amount of age.
Okay.
You know, as you said, as a teenager growing up, I feel like everyone should date with a purpose in mind. If you know how you're being treated, even if you know that this guy, you know, may not be the guy that you want to marry. If you know that in the next relationship that you get into, you know, okay, I saw how I was being treated, I saw how I wasn't being treated, how we communicated, how we didn't communicate. I'm not saying bring your past relationship into a new relationship. What I am saying is that the lessons that you took from it, be able to apply it in this new relationship to where, you know what I'm saying, I'm not always searching to see, or can I find another him to make him better. You know, he is who he is, and you know, whomever comes into your life, they're going to be who they are. But you know, I feel like every relationship for me is that you're solely dating for a purpose. Can I see myself marrying this person? And I don't feel like it should be an age limit on that, because everybody's mindset is different.
Okay.
You know, you can have a 30-year-old whose mindset is still in a 5-year-old's place, or you can have, you know, a 20-year-old whose mindset is that of a 40-year-old.
Okay.
So I feel like, you know, any age.
That's good. That's
fine.
good. That's good. Sister Jaquita.
Yes, I agree. I don't think there's an age limit, because maturity is different within the ages. So
Okay.
you can't really put an age limit on it.
Right.
Okay. That's good. That's good. Listen, we're done. We are out of time. And I'm going to ask Minister Jimmy. I want him to have the last word. I'll be back at the end. But he's going to end it with this question, and he's going to pray us out. Minister Jimmy, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? How are you going to respond when your daughter, if your daughter comes to you and says, Daddy broke my heart as a teenager? How are you going to respond? Now remember, you got to pray us out after you give us the response.
Okay.
Well, that's good. That's why I'm teaching her now. Don't worry about no boys. I told you don't talk to me. I knew he was gonna do it. I told you I was your boyfriend.
I'm the only man in your life.
I'm the only man. Me and your mama. I told you. But now, you know, that is something that I think about, because I'm looking at her now. She's getting older now. I'm trying, and Lord knows I'm struggling with it. I promise you. I'm trying to prepare my mind that she's getting older and she's going to get to that point. Only thing that I can do is just to teach her. Even me as her dad, and I need to make sure that she sees an example from me first.
Okay.
The way that I talk and treat her mom, because kids, well, believe it or not, kids pay attention to that type of stuff.
Message.
So I need to make sure that I'm doing my part first.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So anytime some little joker come to her, and she can say, well, wait a minute now, my dad don't treat my mama like that. No, So hopefully my positive example, the way I treat her mom, the way you say I treat her mom, once somebody come to her, she can recognize it, and hopefully she can avoid somebody that's not good for her.
Okay.
Now, if it does happen, because I think a lot of us go through that. If it does happen, you know, as long as it ain't nah.
Just puppy love.
As long as it's a little puppy love, and you know, she just got a little feelings hurt, you know, I think it would be more of a learning lesson for her. And I just teach her, you know, babe, you know, hey, you know, it's okay, you know, he wasn't for you anyway, you know, and I'll make sure, you know, as you get older, God, I'll make sure you put that right man in your life. You know, you got to go through me first, you know, but just move on.
He has to go through God or you first?
Well, of course, always God first. Okay. He ain't got the answer to me.
Okay, I got you.
I'm glad you corrected
So
that.
God can give the okay, but Daddy got to get okay.
I got to, you know, sometimes me and God got to communicate. You know, God got to deal. We got to talk.
That's right. That's your baby.
I might be on 40-day fast at that point, you know, God, you have to really come. You got to tap. You got to tap it, God. You know, I know that this is it. What you want. But you know, hopefully that you know, if that does happen, it would just be a learning lesson for her. then I can teach her from that point. Mom, you know, we can just sit down and have those conversations with her, let her know, look, baby, it was just young.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm trying not to avoid that.
Okay.
My goal is to avoid, you don't have no boyfriend, ain't no such thing, no boyfriend, that's just your friend. I mean, as hard as it is for me to say that, but I think we have to get the mindset out of, I try to teach out, and this go for male and females, that forget all this boyfriend and girlfriend stuff. If y'all going to y'all just friends, y'all can hang out, y'all too young, y'all all that stuff might not last, you know.
Right.
So hopefully, you know, that I can just teach her now at a young age and don't be so serious about a person.
Right.
Wow, that's good. That's good. Will you pray us out on this Valentine's Day?
Yes.
And I see you with 2 watches on. I don't understand that, but you know, every time you minister, he has on 2 watches. But will you pray us out, Minister Jimmy, on this Valentine's Day? And, he's not representing KPD. I see the mothers looking at this. Pray for him.
That can't be side, that's right.
Pray us out and pray for somebody that's dealing with loneliness and being alone. Can we just minister to them as we leave today?
Definitely. Again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. You know, I hope you got something out of this. And like I said before, just wait. Trust God. I promise you, if you trust God, He will send somebody your way. But you got to understand too, you have to make sure that we're preparing ourselves now and that we're making ourselves available and just trusting God and don't rush into it. But Father God, we just thank you right now, God, for just being who you are. God, we just thank you right now, God, for everybody that is tuning in, oh God, that is listening. God, I just pray right now, God, for somebody that is struggling with love, don't know which route to go. I'm even praying for somebody that has already had their heart broken, oh God. Oh God, I pray right now, God, you give them comfort, oh God. Oh God, let them know, oh God, that all they have to do is just trust you and wait on you. And God, we know, oh God, you really direct their path, oh God. Oh God, I just pray, God, that you send that special person, that special someone in their lives, oh God, but do it on your time, oh God. And God, let them continue to trust you and wait on you. And I pray, God, you heal their broken heart and let them know, oh God, that you are there for them. And you can love them like no one can. And Father God, let them continue to trust you, let them continue to believe in you. We thank you, we praise you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Listen, we love you. And until next time, let's keep building the kingdom one person at a time. Enjoy your Valentines. Don't eat too much. Let's build.
Let's build.
Be blessed.
What's up, family? Listen, I pray you were blessed. I'm telling you, man, I really appreciate the panelists for taking time just to share a few nuggets with us. I want to say this real quickly, and we're getting ready to sow and go. Love. What love is not? Listen at this. Love is not irrationally jealous. Don't you make the mistake, especially to those that are connected to Kingdom Builders and those that are watching, if you're single or married. Love is not irrationally jealous and doesn't hide itself in the name of passion. No. I used to hear them say that love is blind. But one preacher said, but when you get married, love will open both of your eyes. Listen, love is not irrationally jealous. Love is not needing to be with somebody 24/7. Yeah, that's not love. Just because you need to be with somebody 24/7, that's not love. No, you've got a life, I've got a life. We're building something together, but we don't need to be with each other 24/7. That's not love. That's not love. Listen at this. Sometimes we have different interests, different relationships, different life experiences and friendships, but that's not love. Love is not smushing or two independent entities coming together who are not capable of existing independently of each other. That's not love. It's not your 50% and my 50%. No, it's 100% equally. You being 100, I'm being 100, and we're coming together. Love is not uncertain about where it stands. Love is confident. Love speaks in certainty. Love is honest. Listen at this. Love is very communicative. Love doesn't hurt. Love doesn't hold grudges. Love is not dishonest. Love is vulnerable. I've heard people say this before. Pastor, I love them, but I just don't want to lower. I don't want to lower the wall I have. Well, listen, you've got to take a chance because love is vulnerable. It's being transparent. Love is saying, I've been hurt before, but I refuse to allow the pain of the past to stop me from loving again. Love is not a forever promise. Ooh, I hope you get this. Listen at this. Love does not need to be a forever promise in order to mean something. Love can say sometimes last a day. It can last a year, 10 years, a lifetime. Love doesn't need to last a certain amount of time for it to be real, true, or pure. Did you hear that? Love doesn't need a certain amount of time for it to be real, true, or pure. Can I say this to somebody? Love is not resentful. Love is not unaware. It knows and exists with tiny fragments of moments. But love is kind, it's patient. Love is enduring. Love is long-suffering. Love is not easily angered. Love doesn't throw in the towel. And I want to say this to you. Don't make the mistake of not loving God the way he loved us. And then don't make the mistake of not loving others the way God wants us to love them because of the fear of being hurt. Love understands. Love covers all. Love is pure. Love is kind. I'll say this, love is faithful. And you can give without loving, but you can't love without giving. On this Valentine's Day, it is my prayer that you were blessed by the nuggets. We did something a little different today because I love my church day, and it's Valentine's Day, but it is our prayer that you were blessed, encouraged, inspired by what took place on today. We're preparing to give today, and I want to say this because this is our I Love My Church Sunday, and we've asked every member to commit their first fruit, begin their first fruit seed offering of $250. This is over and above our tithe. And so thank you to those that have begun giving that and to those that are going to do that today. We're doing that from now until March 14th. And so I'm grateful to God for each person and the seeds that you've already sown and what you're sowing. I said this before, and I'll say it again. You can give without loving, but it is impossible to love without giving. And I want to make sure that we're doing that. This is a day of love. Don't make it just about your boo, your bae. But can I ask you a question? Do you love God for real? Do you love the kingdom for real? Do you love his people for real? Do you love him? Do you love yourself? Do you love your church? I'm talking to you, Cyber Sanctuary, wherever you are, whatever ministry you're a part of. Make sure that they don't just see you, but that they know that you're connected, because your giving shows where your heart is. And as we're preparing to give today, we're getting ready to sow our tithe, our offering. The information is on the screen. The Bible is plain when it tells us where a woman's treasures are, that's where their heart will be. I believe our treasures are laid up in heaven, but on earth, we want God to know that we put the kingdom first. And that's our number one priority, is to make sure God's house is taken care of. As long as I'm sustaining God's house, God says, I will take care of your house. And so we're not giving out of fear, we're giving out of grace and under grace. And because we love God. Did you hear that? We give because we love God. And we love God. And that's why we give. Get your seed together. The information is on the screen. You can do it through Cash App, Givelify, text to give, whatever method works for you. But prepare your hearts now. We're going to speak some things over our seed, because we don't believe in just giving money, but we want to give our seed an assignment. And so while you're giving, if you're giving your $250, your first fruit seed, it's a place on Givelify. Text to give, you can just put it there, first fruit seed offering. If you're doing it through Cash App, in the memo, just put first fruit seed offering. so that the finance team can direct it to the right place. Come on, hold that seed up in the air. Say this with me. I'm a tither. No, I need you to say this. Come on, I want to give you a chance to get it together, those that are doing it electronically. Here is why, because everything happens as a result of me being in a financial covenant with God. I must do the first thing first, and tithe is what I do first. Come on, it sets me in right standing. God, say this with me. I'm a tither. I gladly take the tithe out of my house and bring them into the storehouse. Today, I confess the windows of heaven blessings over my life. I'm a cheerful giver. Come on, say it with me. I give to the work of God and the man of God. And because I do so, my God shall supply all of my needs. Come on, say this with me. This week, I expect unexplainable blessings. Favor is on my life. Now, where is it coming from? Say favor from the north, favor from the south, favor from the east, and favor from the west. God, give me favor with somebody that can bless me. It is so in Jesus' name. Amen. Listen, go ahead and sow your seeds. Sow your seeds at this time. And while you're doing that, I want to give you a moment, and then we're going to get ready to leave together. Come on, sow your seeds at this time. Go ahead and sow your seeds. Hallelujah. Yes, the information is there on the screen for you. Yes. Well, listen, we're getting ready to go together. I love you. Listen, those of you that have just come off the fast today, KBB, I want to say to you, don't overdo it. Do not overdo it. Take your time. Enjoy one another. Enjoy your loved ones. But more importantly, make sure you're building your love on the right foundation. We need that agape love. That should be the foundation of everything else we do. We're looking forward to seeing each of you on next week. We're jumping right back into this series, Living My Best Life. I'm telling you, we're picking back up this coming week. For those that may have missed it, go back and look at the replay on YouTube from last week. I know you're going to be blessed and inspired. But next Sunday, we pick right back up with Living My Best Life. I love you all. We're praying for you. And on behalf of my wife, Lady Angela Wren, who's affectionately known as the fragrance of the house, we want to say to you, be safe, enjoy yourself, and don't forget to build the kingdom one person at a time. Father, give us traveling grace. Let us make it to our destination safe and sound. We rebuke death, accidents, and incidents. It's in your Son, Jesus the Christ's name, we pray. Amen. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Love Day to you. And I will talk with you later. Keep building the kingdom. Be blessed.
For God so loved the world that he gave his Son, that whoever believes in him will live forever.
Jesus went to Calvary to save a wretch like you and me. That's love. That's love.
Come on now, everybody sing down.
Jesus went
To Calvary
Calvary
to save a
to
wretch.
save a wretch
Thank you, Jesus.
like you and me. That's love. That's
Here's what they
love.
did to him. They hung him high,
Hung him high,
stretched him wide,
stretched him wide,
hung his head